Hi, this is Dana with Dana Meyer Consulting, and I'm here today to talk to you about a very important topic, especially if you are a leader in a new role or if you have moved into a new company, a new business, recently got promoted, and it's about your first 100 days. Sometimes it's your first 90 days, but it's basically those first 3 months when you move into a new role that are so critical for you to get off on not only the right footing, but on both feet and moving quickly. So the importance of having a plan for your first 100 days is to help you deal with what I would call kind of a parallel process that you're in the middle of. One is just being in a new role itself, or working with people that are adapting to you being in a new role. That's a full-time job, like all by itself. But what, as a leader or someone recently promoted or new to a company, also need to recognize is that there's all these other people on this side, whether it's your new boss, your new team, HR, like all these other stakeholders that are over here looking at you to see, did we make the right decision? Are they going to be able to do it? Were they as good as they sounded in the interview process? Like, all eyes are on you. The first 30 days, you kind of get a bit of a pass. You're settling in, you're getting your office set up. I would say this is probably shrinking down to about 2 weeks right now. But after about 30 days, they're looking to see some return on their investment, but it's also about validating that they made the right decision. So this is as much about them as it is about you. But you, as the person who's in the role, are responsible for managing both sides of those equations. And that's why it's such a tricky time, and a time where I find a lot of my clients and my peers and colleagues need extra support, because there's so many balls that are moving all at once that if you can start to master what that 100-day plan is, how you're going to start adding immediate value in that first 30 days, they start to settle down of like, oh, this person really is great. And that starts becoming a self-fulfilling prophecy. You yourself, by adding value in those first 30 days, start to build up your confidence and know this is a great fit for you too. So again, when you start getting that moving in the same direction, you're both on the same track. It's really easy. In your first 100 days, it gets off on great footing. However, the opposite can also happen. If you start to trip up, if you start to have miscommunication, not really clear about what the priorities are, maybe miss some deadlines that you thought you knew but didn't, like, it just starts to get a bit rocky when it doesn't need to. So I'd like to give an example of what you could do in your first 30 days that would start to show that immediate visible value. So the example I'd like to share is a personal one where I moved into a new role as an senior HR manager, and I was working with a group that had a very smart, capable leader who had an awful lot on their plate. Their leadership team also had an awful lot on their plate, so much so that the leader didn't want to hand or delegate anything else. I come in kind of learning, what are we good at, where are we struggling, what are our priorities, how can I add immediate value? First thing I saw within probably 2 weeks was this leader and this team, they need a staff executive. They need someone that's a smart pair of hands that can really work with the team to do some of the more tactical work, but understand how that strategic value and how it needs to be done at a high level, because some of that work is maybe going up to corporate, could be brought onto the team. So I proposed the idea. I had a draft job description. Luckily, I had one from a previous job. I could just shake it out, recycle it, propose the idea. They loved it. It was approved within 24 hours. 2 weeks later, we're interviewing candidates, and I think maybe a week or so later, a final decision had been made. That person was on board. And the result was not only the leader, but the leadership team felt such a sense of relief that they didn't have to do everything themselves, and they had this person who was excited and really a high-performing individual that could take all sorts of tasks off of their plate, and it was going to get done sometimes faster than they could do it themselves, and then sometimes better. And that would not have happened if I had not come in with that recommendation. And so it was a very visible way for me to immediately show my value with a group of people who didn't know me at all. And it just helped them to see that, and again, this was an HR role, and they're like, you know, you're maybe not like most HR people I know, as far as like really getting in there and adding value and understanding like what the strategic nature of the work was. But that's an example that I can share that you could maybe take a look at the work you do and find something similar that would work. Okay? So again, moving into a new role has a lot of challenges. If you're finding that you could use some extra support and help, by all means, you don't have to do it alone. This is work that I would be more than happy to help you with, having gone through those experiences myself, both as an individual leader, but also as someone on the HR side and as a leader hiring. I understand like how to work that game on both sides so that everyone wins. So again, my contact information is below. So with that, it's Dana signing off, and I wish you a great, fabulous day. Have a good one.